start off saying, and I'm going to be pointing out the obvious here, of course. I know not everybody's going to like this, especially since my channel is more of a Fortnite channel, and I am fairly aware of that. And don't you worry, Fortnite content will be back tomorrow. I just personally wanted to do this because this is a big interest to me. We are going to be doing my playoff prediction for wild card weekend, and we'll go all the way up. This is my complete playoff predictions. I will be doing a playoff prediction per round every week starting next week, but this is gonna be my full bracket edition. So starting off, we're gonna go with the first game Saturday tomorrow. As I'm recording this, it's tomorrow. The Los Angeles Chargers versus the Houston Texans, and my prediction is going to be the Chargers. Why are you going against a team that's in your division? Why are you going for a team that's in your division? Because they have the better quarterback. They have the better head coach and the better defense, in my opinion. Texans have been not the best team the last couple of weeks. And honestly, I don't even know if the Texans should be a playoff team this year, in my opinion, but they lucked into the playoff spot being the better team in the AFC South, which is horrendous this year. I mean, I think Texans don't have a shot at this game. I will be completely surprised if they pull around and win this game. I think Justin Herbert is going to get this done and go into the next round of the playoffs. I just really think Los Angeles has this. And then we'll go Steelers and Ravens. Steelers, how are you guys feeling with, Mr. Unlimited over there? Yes, I am going to talk shit about Russ. Okay, I don't hate Russ. It's just he wasn't good for us. And you know what? That sucks because we're paying him so much money still. But I don't. This is my biggest surprise of the week. If the Steelers beat the Ravens, that is the biggest surprise on this list to me. Because Ravens, I think, had one of the most complete teams in the league this year. Lamar Jackson is an MVP front runner. Derrick Henry you could sneak Derrick Henry in the MVP conversation too. Because if you want to do the top five MVP in the MVP conversations, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, those are one and one to me. And then you get Saquon in there at three. Derrick Henry or Joe Burrow at four. The only thing holding Joe Burrow back is the fact that they didn't make the playoffs this year. And then you got Derrick Henry at the fifth or fourth spot. Their defense has been picking up the last couple weeks. Baltimore has been a very good team. They have a solid team. They have probably one of the best well-rounded teams in the league this year. And Steelers, George Pickens didn't show up in the last game. Russell Wilson if he doesn't have a run game, Russell Wilson just falls flat on his face. And I just don't see the Steelers making it past the Ravens this year. And we're going to go next game, Bills and the Broncos. As a Broncos fan, it's really hard to root against my team because I would love for my team to win. I want my team in the next round of the playoffs. I want Kansas City. I want to kick Kansas City's ass so bad. And I do think this is going to be a tougher game than Bills fans think it's going to be because I don't think the Bills have played a defense like the Broncos yet this year. But at the end of the day, no matter how good Bo Nix has been playing and no matter how good, much better of a coach Sean Payton is than Sean McDermott, there is one it factor that the Bills have that the Broncos don't have, and that's a top three quarterback in this league, and that's Josh Allen. I mean, the least sacked quarterback. Broncos have the defense has the most sacks with 63, and the Bills' offensive line has given up the least sacks this year with 20. So it's the best offensive line per holding up and not getting a sack against the best sacking defensive line with one of the best secondaries in the league, because the Broncos have the best cornerback in the league, and it's not even a question. Not even a question who the best cornerback in the league is. It's PS2. Bills don't have any. They have Amari Cooper, who I don't know has practiced this week. Last I heard, he was still have family issues. And the Bills, Keon Coleman has been pretty good, but other than those two, there's Khalil Shakir who doesn't drop a ball. And I do think the Bills will win this game, but I don't think it's going to be as easily. And what I and almost every other Broncos fan thinks right now is we're just happy to be here. One of our first years in a rebuild. We're just happy to be in the playoffs again. It's been 9 years. I was in middle school last time the Broncos were in playoffs. So, you know what? I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to see what we do for next season. But for this game, I have the Bills beating the Denver Broncos. I hurt to say. Packers and Eagles. I keep this one short. I do have Philadelphia. I don't. I think Philadelphia has one of the best offense, and they have statistically a top three rated defense in the league. I do like the Packers and do think there is a possibility, but they just lost Christian Watson last week of the season. Romeo Dobbs was sick, so Christian Watson had to play, and he went and tore his ACL. And yeah, he's probably the best receiver on the Packers. So him not being there is a huge loss. The Packers offense looks a lot different than with and without Christian Watson. And I just don't know. And I don't know how Jordan Love's throwing arm is going to do after the injury last week. I don't know how severe it was. It is. But I just think the Eagles are a well-rounded team. The only thing one of the only things I see that can go in a factor for the Packers is coaching, because Matt LaFleur is a damn better coach than Nick Sirianni. I'm sorry. I like the Eagles, but Nick Sirianni is ass. One of the worst coaches in the league. I don't understand how he can get this team going all the time. He is not a great coach, but you know what? The Eagles make up for it. The Eagles are one of the best teams in the league this year to me. So after that, it's the Commanders versus the Buccaneers. And this is probably one of the biggest games of which I don't know, because at the end of the day, for me, coaching wise, I think Quinn is a better coach, so that goes to the Commanders for me. Quarterback, I know everybody's going to say Jaden Daniels, but Baker Mayfield has playoff experience. Jaden Daniels doesn't. And Baker Mayfield has been insane this year. He has 41 touchdowns on the year, which is third most. Might be second most. I don't remember. I'm going to have to fact check that. But, I think he's the better quarterback out of the two right now. I don't know how long maybe Jaden Daniels kicks it up again next year, but as of right now, I have Baker as the better quarterback. Running backs, Austin Eckler, Brian Robertson against Bucky Irvin and White. I'd have to go Buccaneers for that. Receivers, Mike Evans over Terry McLaurin, yes. I don't remember his name, but number 15 on the Bucks is pretty good too if he puts away those handguns. Oh, that was bad. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. And defensive wise, I think the Commanders have a better defense, but I'm gonna go with the team with the more experience, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is another toss up for me because I think KOC is one of the. I have him and Sean Payton as battling coach of the years. Yes, you can call me a Denver homer, but we were projected 5 wins this season, and we're in the playoffs. Yes, we're not going to advance we're probably not going to advance in the playoffs, but you're telling me a five team that was projected worst quarterback in the league, worst roster in the league's in the playoffs. And then what? They went 14 KOC went 14-3 and got the 5 seed just because them and the Lions are in the same division. But KOC's been a great coach this year. Sam Darnold has been great this year too, and that's something I never thought I'd ever say after his career with the Jets. But I guess the Jets is just where quarterbacks go to die. So there's that. But and then they're going up against Rams with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is older, does look older after this year too, which is sad to see because I love Matthew Stafford. And then it's go to their running backs. It's a Cam Akers revenge game because Vikings have Cam Akers and Williams for the Rams have the Williams, which I think Williams is a way better running back, by the way. And then receivers, Justin Jefferson versus Puka and Cooper. Well, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson versus Puka and Cooper. This is the one of the hard. Oh, this might be harder than the Bucks game to predict. I am gonna go with the Vikings, but this one, I'm gonna go with the Bucks and the Vikings, but both of those could go either way to me. So to wrap up Wild Card Weekend, we got Bills beating the Broncos, Eagles beating the Packers, Ravens beating the Steelers, Bucks beating the Commanders, Texans losing to the Chargers, and the Rams losing to the Vikings, which is also being played at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium, if you guys didn't know, because of all the fires. I pray for every one of you guys that have to be involved in those fires. I don't know for a fact, but I know they probably suck. And I am really sorry for any of the people and stuff that have to go through that. But let's sim a week and let's get on with this video and go on to the divisional week. This is the only one that's going to be long because we are going to go through the whole playoffs because I want to do my bracket for this video. The next ones are just going to be predictions. This is my prediction and bracket. So these dates and times aren't set up because obvious reasons. But anyways, we're gonna have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. It's gonna be at Kansas City. And I'm gonna say an unpopular opinion. The Kansas City Chiefs are the worst 15-2 team I've ever seen. Probably one of the only 15-2 teams I've ever seen because that 18 a game has been recently added that I didn't think of that before I said. But I don't think Kansas City is that good. But I will also say I haven't seen them healthy this year because Brown came back during the Pittsburgh game and their offense looked a lot better with Brown in it. This game, coaching, I go Andy Reid. Quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes. Running back, J.K. Dobbins and Isaiah Pacheco. I'll take J.K. on that one, actually. And then receivers, Lad versus DeAndre Hopkins. Well past his prime, but it's still DeAndre fucking Hopkins. I'm going to go Kansas City in this game. Not happily, but I'm going to go Kansas City. Detroit against Minnesota. It Detroit's defense, I'm hoping they get some of their players back because they've been injured to hell. But Detroit has been a fun team to watch this year. They're also 15-2, just like the Chiefs. And they're also going to get the home dub, in my opinion. So this game can go in multiple ways. It can go like the game they played earlier this season where the Lions won by a field goal. Or Sam Darnold can look rattled all game, miss throws. Not their red zone efficiency in that Week 18 game was horrendous, and that's what lost them that game. The Lions just kicked their ass in the red zone. But I do think it's going to be closer than what we saw last week. But I still don't think the Vikings have enough to beat the Lions. So, Jared Goff, you're going to the conference championship game for the second year in a row. And then I'm going to go with the Eagles and Buccaneers next. As much as I love Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, there is no way in hell I'm going to be choosing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go into Philadelphia and beat Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert. Their offensive line there is amazing, and Bucks defensive line has been doing better as the season progresses, but they still have one of the worst secondaries in the league, I'm pretty sure. Their secondary hasn't left much for attention, and the Eagles have two number ones at wide receiver, and they have the best running back in the league in Saquon Barkley. I don't see a way in which the Buccaneers can beat the Eagles. I love the Buccaneers, but like I don't see a way in which they can beat the Eagles. Home field's going to be very important for that game too, because what Tampa Bay beat the Eagles earlier in this season. Yeah, but was that in Philadelphia or was that in Tampa? I don't remember. But it's also playoffs. I don't see a way in where Buccaneers beat them again this year. This has been a good playoff rivalry though the last couple of years. This is the toughest game for me to pick. You got Baltimore versus Buffalo. And the key factor in this game for me is Zay Flowers going to be here for this game? Because he won't be there against the Steelers. Will he be there for this game? How long is Zay Flowers' injury for? Because if we go coaching, I think Harbaugh is the better coach. If we go quarterbacks, yeah, that's literally 1A and 1B to me is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I really do think that they're number 1A and number 1B in quarterbacks in the league. So that is a really tough battle for me too. And then with running backs, James Cook against Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, well, offensive line, I'll give to the Bills. But defense, I'm going to have to give to the Ravens too. So, like in all facets of the word, I should be choosing the Ravens here. But I'm going to choose the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's ability of getting it done in the play of like Josh Allen's play in the playoffs just takes an increase. He'll be good in regular season, but in the playoffs, he's even better. Look at his numbers for playoffs. I think he has one of the best touchdowns to interception ratio of any player ever in the playoffs. Josh Allen turns into a different beast during the playoffs. Now, next week in the next game with the Bills in this equation is going to be the real test for them to prove my point because it's going to be Kansas City against Buffalo. Earlier in the season, Buffalo beat them in Buffalo, but now Kansas City's healthier. Here's it's going to be it's going to be the same as almost the same as every other one. I'm going to go Buffalo. I think how the game's going to go is it's going to be back and forth like a chess match, just like it usually is in the playoffs. And it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. Whoever has the ball last is probably going to win like it usually does, except in this scenario, what happened last year isn't going to happen again. I think Josh Allen's either going to score a touchdown on that last drive or he's going to get the ball in field goal range and Tyler Bass isn't going to miss it wide left like he did last year. I have Buffalo Bills going to the Super Bowl. Earlier in the season, my prediction was Buffalo Lions Super Bowl. And it's really looking to me like it's about to be a Buffalo Bills versus the Lions Super Bowl again. What I predicted earlier in this season does seem likely. Lions having Philadelphia come into their building. It's a battle in the AFC and NFC with both number 1 and 2 teams battling it out in the conference championships. And I think the Eagles are a really great team. I really do. And I can see them beat the Lions. I really can. But my heart of hearts and my gut and everything else is telling me that the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. And my gut's been saying that almost all year. And I just can't go against my gut. I think the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. I think they can take care of Philadelphia. The one concern I have about the Lions winning is how healthy their defense is when they play. Because Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, that's two tough opponents to go against. Yes, Robinson on the Lions shut down Justin Jefferson, but I don't know if he can shut down AJ Brown. I think he can shut down Devontae Smith, but AJ Brown, with the size of AJ Brown, I don't think I'm going to go with Detroit. So Super Bowl is Buffalo Bills versus Detroit Lions, and my is what I'm predicting. And the winner of this Super Bowl is gonna be the same outcome as it was in the regular season. I think Josh Allen is gonna hoist the Lombardi at the end of the season. He's been one of the he's been arguably the MVP. Him or Lamar Jackson. I actually think they should co MVP. Just like what was it, Peyton Manning and Steve McNair back in 2004. I think it should be co MVPs. I think it should be Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But what Josh Allen is going to have over Lamar Jackson is he's going to be hosting Lombardi and having a Super Bowl ring at the end of the year. I think what happened earlier in the season is going to happen again for Detroit. Let's just take a look at this real quick. I don't know how accurate Madden's stats are going to be now that I'm looking into this. 42-48 was the original score. I don't know how accurate the stats are. I just think that the Buffalo's offense is better than the Lions' defense, and I also think that the Buffalo Bills defense can hold back the Lions' offense. But here is the bracket for my predictions. We are going to sim one more week just to see if we can get a better look at that bracket. I don't remember how this works. I I think the Buffalo Bills are winning the Super Bowl this year. That is my prediction. That is the feeling in my balls I am getting when I think about who's going to the Super Bowl this year. That is this is my I don't Super Bowl MVP being Von Miller would be sick, but I think it's gonna be Josh Allen. That is the feeling in my ball sack that I am getting. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next video. See you in Fortnite tomorrow. Ha. Love you guys. Peace out.